Concepts such as white supremacy and systemic racism are discussed during professional development. LCPS has not adopted critical race theory as a framework for staff to adhere to. LCPS recognizes the right of its employees to free speech, but does not condone anyone targeting members of the community for their viewpoint. LCPS remains committed to its equity work.
Bias. When you hired the Equity Collaborative to allegedly investigate racial discrimination, Asians and Indians were not allowed to participate in the workshops, as LCPS believes only Black and Hispanics can face discrimination.
Disappointed I am in those board members who are part of the anti-racist Parents of Loudoun County group. You sat by and stayed silent while these self-loathing people created a hit list of parents who disagree with CRT and branded us racist, particularly Ms. Bartz, who is actively contributing to the group's illegal activities. You don't deserve to hold a spot on this board. As someone on that list, I am disgusted, and I'm here to say I will not be silenced by a bunch of deranged individuals.
That a member of this board went to a private Facebook group shortly after her censure to incite a social justice mob in a call to action and violence in order to out those who dared oppose her. This was done under the thinly veiled guise of opposition to CRT, and that my name had been added to the list for speaking here at board meetings. For the record, advocating for your children is your children's education is called parenting, not racism.
I call out the 6 school board members, the 2 board of supervisors, the Commonwealth attorney, even the principal at Briarwoods, all in that anti-racist parents Facebook group. I was personally attacked. My name, my first name, my last name, where my son goes to school, who my husband is, where I live, and 3 pictures of me were all on that Facebook page. They wanted to send postcards to our neighbors calling us racist and come to our homes with a megaphone and call us racist. And Beth Bartz, you incited this mob. I blame you for these people, including teachers, to come after us because we have different opposing views. You'll be recalled. We've had enough of your shenanigans. Put our children first.
At what point did our school board members go from serving residents to targeting them? Compiling lists of tax-paying citizens and parents fighting for their children's rights, not to mention exercising First Amendment rights, is in a pretty scary territory.
I have no pride, I have no faith in the school system because of some people on this board.
Hearing residents say that they regret moving here for the schools, and I feel the same way, and this is a direct reflection of this board and committee. There's little trust that the critical race theory undertones aren't being taught in our district.
For the love of God, Ms. Bartz, pull it together. I am sick and tired of LCPS being in the media for embarrassingly immature reasons. Promoting taking action against parents who don't agree with your views on the heels of public censure is outrageous. You're a poor example to the public leadership of our youth and have absolutely no business on this board.
What the group of keyboard trolls did has nothing to do with Mr. Beatty's comments and everything to do with the lies and meddling on social media by Mrs. Bartz. We all know this, and local law enforcement does now. High school teacher belittling a student in class when he didn't use skin color to describe 2 women in a photo, and why a CRT writing lab about whiteness and white fragility and white privilege was being taught there. Enough with the lies. We all see what's going on.
Your claim that culturally relevant instruction, CRI, is not rooted in CRT is factually and deliberately false.
And others, but the fact that you have in your employ and on our school board those who do not only agree with discrimination, but go so far as to condone or participate in the witch hunt of citizens for voicing their opinion is unbelievable.
Absolute circus this board is turned into. Every meeting there's a closed-door session happening to discipline a representative whose behavior is increasingly worse and more divisive.
You have 350 equity soldiers in this county, and you're telling us that you're not teaching equity to our students, no training?
Stop the politics and bickering and do what is right and good for the community. I should not have to live in fear because my opinions may differ from elected officials.
Lisa Levine. Is your goal to be as dysfunctional as California?
I was shot in the leg by a neo-Nazi when I was a child. I know what extremism looks like, and you should as well. I'm here tonight because I learned that my name was added to a modern-day enemies list. The reason? Quote, Dan Salinger spoke about the need for a middle ground in constructing a comprehensive equity plan. A middle ground. The group responsible for this list rejects moderation. That's the definition of extremism. They say they want to investigate, hack, and publicly expose those who don't agree with them. That's extremism. The list includes legal names, spouses' names, addresses, and employers. That's intimidating. Incredibly, several Loudoun County board members are also members of this extremist group. I don't want to be shot a second time.
Hi, my daughter has not been given a safe, critical thinking environment. She has been taught a lopsided, one-sided history that includes such fallacies that only one race was subjected to slavery. Do you want to guess which one?
A member of this board and others associated with LCPS have participated in the formation of a third-party group, Anti-Racist Parents of Loudoun County, or as I like to call them, Chardonnay Antifa. Dispatching white wine commie mommies to do the school system's political dirty work is unacceptable and un-American. We are not the Bolsheviks of the former Soviet Union. We are not the Khmer Rouge. This is the United States of America.
The report says that parents have been put on lists and targeted for negative treatment. My opinion is that elected officials should be representing parents, not targeting them. I mean, how do you even have time to do this? Why aren't you laser focused on opening schools?
So I'm asking to allow the parents to be able to opt their children out of books until we can get a clear picture of what will be taught without being put on a list, which of course has been incited by one of our own board members.
You're about to experience a mass exodus of teachers and staff here in Loudoun County. It's already started. I hope you pay attention to the numbers, because CRT is divisive. There are racial comments that are made during these trainings. Minority students are going to suffer the most from this. When you teach students that the system is against them, they have no motivation to learn.
How many times does this need to happen before she's removed from the school board? Is it until someone is physically attacked because of her actions in her Facebook groups? Is it when LCPS is slapped with a massive lawsuit? Beth has demonstrated time and time again she does not care about the family she was elected to serve. Beth throws students under the bus and mocks us and now is aiding and threatening us. And when we push back, she starts crying the victim.
Yes, there are moments in our society that show us we need to work on issues regarding race. However, critical race theory brings more division than unity, and it is not the answer to race issues, despite that being the intention of critical race theory.
For a governmental body to arbitrarily decide what speech is protected is Orwellian. When it comes to critical race theory, to shame people for being a certain color is just plain cruel. Saying white people are inherently racist is not far from saying you are bad because of the color you were born. Will we be here again in 50 years fighting for whites? How about teaching everyone is valuable, all created equal, inherently deserving to be treated with dignity and respect?
It's not true that critical race theory is not being implemented. Just ask MSAC, just ask the Equity Collaborative, and look at last month's Equity newsletter, which recommended Ibram X. Kendi's book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. This is textbook critical race theory. LCPS also recommends racism teaching materials from the Southern Poverty Law Center, which has adopted critical race theory as its foundational premise for their teaching tolerance, learning for justice materials. I also learned that my name was added to the Anti-Racist Parents Chardonnay Antifa group's hate list. I would have been highly offended had I not been included. In fact, I want Ms. Bartz to add my name again, just for good measure.
637,000 people. That's how many U.S. military men and women have died over the past 100 years protecting our rights. I myself didn't serve the U.S. military and deploy all the way around the world away from my family so that I could come back and have the government officials harass, attack, and target the citizens of Loudoun County for using their First Amendment rights to speak out against a dangerous philosophy of critical race theory and equity, which defies every principle that our founders established within this country. Beth Barch, you've been exposed along with your co-conspirators, and we will not allow you to continue to create a hostile work environment in our schools and for our teachers, and we're tired of our tax dollars paying for this. We will not be silenced. And this country is still one of the people, by the people, for the people, and it's going to remain that way. And make sure you get my name right when you put me down on your list.